Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. And Ikoria has now officially been revealed, and that includes the Commander 2020 product that's tied into it. And as you can imagine, there's some big changes in pricing. The market's been slow for a while. Not so much this week. Quickly before we get into it though, just a fast reminder, if you go to flipsidegaming.com, you can use the Heroes promo code to save 10% on orders over $10. However, they are not currently sending out orders. Just wanted everyone to be aware of that. Without any further ado though, let's get into it. Alright, we're going to begin with your top 8 standard legal cards that have lost value this week. Again, you're going to see some prices going down because of Challenger deck reprints here. First though, we have Questing Beast in at number 8. It goes down 60 cents to $12. Sometimes this is in sideboards and flash builds. It's in Gruul Aggro, Mono Green Stompy. In Pioneer, it's in Salty Delirium, Niv to Light in the sideboard sometimes, and other decks in that format. Modern and Legacy players are interested in this card sometimes too, but it does continue to go down. The percentage of play overall is down compared to a few months ago. Number 7 is Idyllic Tutor. This is the one for Morningtide though. It goes down 67 cents to $13.99. Of course, this was reprinted as a rare in Theros Beyond Death, which is why this card got so soft. It has seen a little bit of standard play recently in Esper Doom Foretold decks, so we'll have to kind of see if that carries into the next season or not. It's a big Commander and Brawl card though for enchantment heavy builds. Number 6 is Absorb, another original copy here, the one from Invasion. It goes down 70 cents to $8.02. This sees play in Azorius and Esper Control decks in Standard, and in Pioneer you'll find this in Azorius Control as well. Number 5 is Breeding Pool, the one from Dissension. It goes down 95 cents to $31.69. So this is a card that's kind of been up and down, like every week it feels like it's jumping from one list to the other, but it sees play in a lot of places. I think just this Dissension copy is kind of unstable right now. In Standard, you'll find this in Sultai Midrange, Temur Reclamation, Bant Mid-Ramp, Temur Adventures, Simic, as well as Temur Flash, and more. In Pioneer, it's in some big decks like Bant Spirit, Sultai Delirium, and more there. Lots of modern play too, including in the very popular Bant Snowblade build. Alright, here's where you're going to start seeing the Challenger deck influence, beginning with number 4, Brazen Borrower. It goes down $1.03 to $17. Now, this is still seeing a ton of play, but there is one copy of this in the Flash of Ferocity Challenger deck, which is just bringing more copies into the environment. In Standard, it's in Temur Reclamation, Temur Adventure, Simic and Temur Flash, Azorius Blank, and more. Modern, this is in Grixis, Wurza, and more decks there. This sees Legacy play too. Number 3, Vraska, Golgari Queen. You can find one copy of this in the Final Adventure Challenger deck. It goes down $1.04 to $6.19 this week. And again, it's seeing a fair amount of play. Sultai Midrange, Jund Sacrifice, and more in Standard. Pioneer, sometimes in Sultai Delirium, and some other decks there too. And this has even seen a little Legacy and Vintage play. Number 2 is Fabled Passage, down $1.10 to $15. This is a Standard staple. It's a Pioneer staple. It's a good card for Brawl and Commander. Why is it going down? You guessed it. It is in 2 of the Challenger decks. You can find one copy of this in Flash of Ferocity, and one copy in Final Adventure. Number 1 is Embercleave. It goes down $1.22 to $13.12, and you can find one copy of this in Cavalcade Charge. This is in a variety of aggro decks in the Standard format right now, Mono Red, Gruul, Rakdos, and more. Pioneer, this is in Mono Red and Gruul aggro there. Sees a little modern play too. On to the top 8 standard legal cards that have gained value this week, and the online Magic Fest actually did inspire some increases with some of these cards, as you're going to see, even though the season is pretty much over. However, a lot of people are thinking about next season, which decks could carry over, which decks might actually get better. Number 8 is Finale of Devastation. It goes up 31 cents to $14.19. You'll find this in Simic Midrange and more in Standard. In Modern, it's in Heliod Devoted Company and other decks there too. But I think the big push this week financially for this card is coming from Commander. We got to see all the cards over the last couple of weeks for the Commander 2020 decks. And this could be a good upgrade to Enhanced Evolution. And there's a card in that deck that a lot of people are excited to build around. That card is Exara the Exemplary, and Finale of Devastation is one card that could play well in a build around this. But we're going to see more cards going up because of this particular card later in the video as well. Number 7, Rubble Bell Direct Loose. This is the Core Set 2020 copy. It goes up 33 cents to $2.50. The reason this is so inflated is because you can't get these in the draft packs. You can only get one copy of this in the Red Welcome deck. You don't have a lot of people selling Welcome deck cards online. That's why these prices get inflated. Number 6 is the Great Henge. It goes up 34 cents to $17.08. You'll find this in Temur Adventures, Mono Green Stompy, and more. Pioneer, Mono Green Walkers plays this. Golgari Stompy as well can play it. This card also could get better with Ikoria next season, considering a lot of big creatures are coming. Number 5 is Watery Grave, the one from Gatecrash. It goes up 35 cents to $9.53. Now, there was a Guilds of Ravnica copy of this in the Brawl deck Fairy Schemes, and that did bring the value of this down recently. Starting to rebound slowly now, though. This is found in Sultai Midrange, 4-color Super Friends, and much more in the standard environment. Pioneer, Dimir Inverter, very popular deck, will run this. Sultai Delirium as well, and more. And this, of course, sees Modern 2 being a shock land. Number 4 is Hydroid Crisis, going up 37 cents to $18.49. You'll find this in Sultai Midrange, Bant Midramp, Temur Reclamation, Simic and Temur Flash, and more. I think a lot of people are leaning on the Flash decks right now because they are getting some tools that could make them better next season. And this is a good upgrade to the Enhanced Evolution Commander 2020 deck, too. Number 3 is another original Shockland, Steam Vents from Guild Pact, going up 69 cents to $21.11. It's a good idea to keep track of what the original copies of cards do because sometimes they move in a more exaggerated fashion, but they can give you an idea of what the subsequent reprintings will do soon. Now, this one has been soft recently because there was a copy of the Guilds of Ravnica version of this card in the Allied Fires 2020 Challenger deck. But now, again, much like Watery Grave a few moments ago, this card is starting to rebound already. This is in Jeskai Fires, Temur Reclamation, Temur Adventures, Temur Flash, and more in Standard. Pioneer isn't in Soul and other decks will run it. Modern, some of the Urza builds run this, Dredge, and others. Number 2 is Niv Mizzet Reborn. It goes up 80 cents to $5.72. It sees a little standard play, but this is really moving more so because of Pioneer and Modern. There's Niv to Light decks in both of those formats. And also, there is a new card from Ikoria that could be pushing this a little bit too for Commander and Brawl. That's Gigantha the Wellspring. Number 1, it's Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, going up $1.43 to $40. So this card lost a little value. It's quickly rebounding back. I think partially this is people preparing for the new meta, knowing that this card is still going to be good. You're going to find this currently in Sultai Midrange, Temur Reclamation, Bant Midramp, Simic and Temur Flash, and more. Pioneer, it's in Sultai Delirium and Niv to Light. Modern, you're going to find this in some big decks like Bant Snowblade and much more there. Sees Legacy play and Commander and Brawl play as well. Okay, let's head over to Pioneer in your top 6 Pioneer legal cards that have lost value this week. Coming in at number 6 is Selfless Spirit. It's down 66 cents to $9.37. The Bant Spirit decks have been super popular, but I will say I noticed that the numbers of those decks percentage-wise are down a little bit this week. This card is a reflection of that. Also, this does see Modern play in Azorius Spirits and more there too. Number 5 is Crucible of Worlds. This is the one from 10th edition going down 82 cents to $20.99. This doesn't really see much, if really any Pioneer play right now, but in Modern it does see a little bit of play. Not as much as it used to see though. You'll also find this sometimes in Legacy and Vintage decks. It's still very popular in Commander though. Number 4, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, goes down 91 cents to $28.42. This card spiked not too long ago. It's been coming down slowly, trying to find its price point. Still sees play in Azorius Control, Jeskai Fire Super Friends, and more in the Pioneer format. Sees Modern play in Bant Snowblade and more there too. Number 3, Liliana, The Last Hope, down 96 cents to $39.03. Similar story here. This card has spiked pretty aggressively. It's been coming down for a little while now. You'll find this in Kethis Combo and more in the format. This shows up in Legacy and Vintage a little bit too. Number 2 is Supreme Verdict. This is the one from Iconic Masters. It goes down $1.37 to $11.85. This was reprinted in Mystery Boosters. That's the main reason it has been losing value. Still a very good card in Pioneer. It's in Lotus Breach, Azorius Control. Modern, you'll find this in Bant Snowblade and other decks there. Even see some Legacy play as well. Number 1, Kalidas, Trader of Get, another card that has been hot and was going up in value, now coming down. This goes down $1.50 to $27.36. You'll find this in Mono Black Aggro and more. Modern, it's in Dimir Urza, Rakdos Unearth, and other decks there too. Alright, on to your top 6 Pioneer legal cards that have gained value this week. Number 6 is Foundry Inspector, but this is the one from Mystery Boosters. It goes up 76 cents to $1.27. I think mostly this is the card in the new set trying to find its price point. This is in Vintage Ravager Shops decks. Sees a lot of Commander play too. Maybe this is getting a little push from a new Ikoria card. Perhaps it's moving a tad bit because of Umori the Collector. Number 5, Ulamog, The Ceaseless Hunger. It goes up 76 cents to $34. You'll find this in Mono Green Walkers. In Modern, it's in Tron builds. Legacy, this sees play there too. Commander, though, it's been recently pushed by Nyx Bloom Ancient as people have been more focused on some of those big mana decks. Also in the new set, there's some ways to cheat creatures into play off your library or off the top few cards of your library. So I do think some people are already thinking about that for Commander going forward. Number 4, Aurelia the War Leader. This is the one from the Guilds of Ravnica Boros Guild Kit. Only comes in foil. It goes up 78 cents this week to $10.94. It's a popular Commander card. Many times you'll find this in Kalia of the Vast decks. Number 3, Perforos God of the Forge goes up 90 cents to $12.99. This is the one from Mystery Boosters though, so again, it's just trying to find its price point a little bit. This wasn't only reprinted here, but also recently reprinted in one of the Theros Stargazing Secret Layers. But even so, this one is climbing quite a bit this week, and it is a very popular Commander card overall. Number 2, Al-Hamarit's Archive. This goes up $1.02 to $7.74. Again, we're looking at the Mystery Booster copy of this card. So again, some of those are still trying to figure out the right price to be at. And recently, the Commander Life Gain decks have been very popular, but this is a solid Commander card in general. Although, what I think is moving this more than anything this week is it was mentioned on one of the Command Zone podcast episodes as a good upgrade card for the Timeless Wisdom Commander 2020 deck. This plays well with the Commander there, which we're going to see later in the video, actually. Number 1 is Ugin the Spirit Dragon, up $1.06 to $60. This card lost a lot of value, now it's just rebounding back up again. This is in Mono Green Ramp, Lotus Breach. In Modern, you'll find this in Tron builds, Legacy Post builds, and it's a big Commander card. Alright, let's move on to the world of Modern. Top 5 Modern legal cards that have lost value this week. Coming in at number 5 is Auntie's Hubble. It goes down $1.52 to $11.61. Goblin decks not seeing a ton of Modern play right now. Those numbers are down quite a bit, and the price of this card reflects that. Number 4 is Sword of Light and Shadow for Modern Masters. It goes down $1.59 to $45. For a little bit, when people were trying to figure out what was best with Stoneforge Mystics, some folks were trying this card out. Still happens a little bit, I guess, but you don't see a whole lot of that. Mostly the sword that you see played with that card is sort of Feast and Famine nowadays. But this still sees a little Modern play, little Legacy play as well, and some Commander play. Number 3 is Reese the Redeemed from Shadowmoor. It goes down $1.67 to $22.72. Very popular Commander card, but it was reprinted in Mystery Boosters. Number 2, Blightsteel Colossus, down $1.71 to $56.39. This is another card that was increasing in value a couple months ago. Now it's stabilizing back down again. Sees Vintage play, sees Commander play. Number 1, Bloom Tender from Eventide, down $2.17 to $46.18. Another huge Commander card here, but another card that was reprinted in Mystery Boosters too. Alright, on to the top 5 Modern legal cards that have gained value this week. Number 5, Painter's Servant, goes up $1.93 to $30.62. Legacy Painters decks have always been kicking around, but recently there's been a new copy, Teamer Snow Painter, and a lot of folks have been trying to assemble that deck and put up some good results on Magic Online. Also, when it comes to Commander, there's a couple Ikoria cards that could make this a little bit better. In both cases, these cards want certain cards to have color and not be colorless. Painter's Servant could help with that, and those cards are Emergent Ultimatum and Titan's Nest. Number 4 is Kozilek Butcher of Truth from Ultimate Masters. It goes up $2.68 to $34.99. And this is a great Commander card, has seen a lot of play, again more play recently because of Nyx Bloom Ancient. But like I said with Ulamog, there are some cards that will let you cheat this into play coming from the new set because it takes cards in different circumstances from your library into play. And again, this might get a little better in Commander soon. Number 3 is Misty Rainforest from Zendikar. It goes up $2.70 to $70.07. If you remember a few weeks back, we found out enemy fetches were getting reprinted in multiple places. Yes, the Secret Lair Ultimate Edition was one of those places, even though that was a very limited product. However, we found out at some point, it was supposed to be June, but now it will be later, they were going to go ahead and do another whole group of Secret Lairs, and if you bought the whole bundle, you got one of the enemy fetches at random. And then we found out sometime in 2020, another product, not a standard product, but a product would go to game stores that would have fetches in them. Speculation at this point, though, is that product might not actually come out now to 2021, perhaps, if it was already slated towards the end of the year anyway. So it might be a while before we actually get our hands on some of these reprints. Some of these fetches have started to move back up again, but especially this one because it sees a lot of play right now. Banned Snowblade, Urza builds, Amulet Titan, and more in Modern. Sees Legacy and Vintage play too. Number 2, Unbound Flourishing, goes up $3.17 to $9. Here is another card that is going up because of Zixara, the Exemplary, which we saw earlier. Zixara actually looks like it could be an awesome Commander for Hydra builds, and I think you're going to see a lot of people trying to assemble those type of decks. And Unbound Flourishing is kind of a no-brainer in those decks. As a matter of fact, the Hydra decks have already been popular for a few months now. Number 1, I haven't said it up till now, I guess I kind of have to say it now, It's Protean Hulk. Dissension goes up $1.54 to $8.65. Ravnica Allegiance Gruul Guild Kit goes up $3.23 to $10.01. Obviously, we know why this is going up. A competitive commander deck that is known by the name of Sushi Hulk. This is the Hulk in Sushi Hulk. And it's been extremely popular. A lot of people have been trying to build it. And it kind of cooled off for a couple weeks, but it has picked up again when people saw some of the new cards that could play well with it. One of those cards, for example, Drannith Magistrate. All right, time for the Vintage Spotlight. This is where we talk about cards that see play in Legacy, Vintage, 93, 94, or cards that are just popular among collectors, or usually just cards that are in Sushi Hulk. I should just call this the Sushi Hulk Spotlight. All right, the first card sees play in Sushi Hulk. It's Mystical Tutor. This is the one from Signature Spellbook Jace. It goes up $2 to $13.59. It also sees play in a lot of other commander decks, and it sees play in Vintage too. Next we have Firestorm. This one's on the reserve list. It goes up $2.67 to $9.99. Now sure, this is good with Underworld Breach, but there's a new card from Ikoria that's really pushing it this week. That is Rael the Everwise, and actually this is not the last time we're going to mention this name either today. Force of Will, it goes up $3.83 to $104.29. This is the one from Eternal Masters. Vintage play, Legacy play, Commander, especially in competitive Commander decks like Sushi Hulk. And this also got a Command Zone mention this week, which could have pushed it a little too. Vampiric Tutor, 2 copies. Visions going up $2.65 to $68.49. Eternal Masters up $3.97 to $89.15. This sees Vintage play, and Tutors are always going to be good in Commander, especially competitive Commander. And yeah, you can find this in the deck that shall not be named too. Mana Drain, the one from Legends, up $4 to $179.99. Sees a little Vintage play nowadays. Big Commander card though. And yup, it's in that deck too. Gaia's Cradle from Urza's Saga. This one's on the reserve list, but it did get reprinted one more time as a Judge promo foil before they closed that loophole. This, of course, is the Urza's Saga copy. It goes up $4.32 to $349.99. This is in Legacy, Maverick, and Elves decks, and it's a great commander card if you're lucky enough to own one. Reese the Redeemed was recently reprinted in Mystery Boosters, and this card plays very well with that one. Only dual land on our list today, Bayou from Revised on the reserve list. It goes up $4.98 to $266.33. Basalt Monoliths are getting hot. 4 to talk about today. Commander 2015 up $1 to $4.49. Commander Anthology Volume 2 up $1.41 to $5.45. Unlimited up $1.55 to $9.45. Commander Anthology up $5.13 to $8.94. This does see a little Legacy play in Karn Echo decks, not a whole lot though. This is a huge commander card, and the reason it's going up right now is because it combos with 2 potential commanders in the future. These cards are both in Ikoria, Kinnan Bonder Prodigy and Zerta the Dawnwaker. So I know what you're thinking. Finally, there's some way to combo with Basalt Monolith to create endless mana. Next we have a swamp, but it's not any swamp. This is the one from Battle Royale, and it's the one that you see pictured on the screen here. It goes up $5.44 to $10.50. This card every once in a while jumps up. I think there's just not a whole lot of them in the marketplace at any given time. And some people do like to play with white bordered lands if they have fetch lands. And this one does have really striking art by John Avon. So I do think these tend to dry up from time to time. Gilded Drake, this one's on the reserve list. It goes up $6.89 to $87.49. This card just keeps climbing. But this is also a pretty popular commander card, especially in competitive Commander. And yes, in Sushi Hulk. Gravity Sphere, this one's on the reserve list and has a big jump this week though, up $12.58 to $43.19. Island of Wak Wak, also on the reserve list, up $14 this week to $119.99. Here's one for you longtime Market Watch viewers out there. The Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. On the reserve list, it goes up $200.24 to $1,989.99. This card is jumping a little bit because there's a lot of really high-grade copies for sale right now. See, cards like this that don't have a lot of transactions any given week, it is hard to find true sales data, so your big websites do have to fall back on what people are just asking for them sometimes. This week, you just have some higher grade, more expensive copies that are for sale. Time Twister from Unlimited goes up $1,000 to $3,400 on the reserve list. What's happening here is you're seeing a price movement because of the same basis that we mentioned with the last card. But this time you have a card that's even harder to find and sees even less sales. But on top of that, because a lot of the warehouses are closing right now because of what's going on in the world, you're seeing a lot of sellers delist their items. As people take items off, you might see some weird price jumps. In this case, there's not a whole lot of copies of this for sale anymore, and the cheaper copies have been taken off the marketplace. Alright, it's time for the Commander Spotlight, and we've talked a lot about Commander already, but there's more cards to look at. First, we have Lion's Eye Diamond on the reserve list. It goes up $1 or $2 to $208.15. Not a big increase, but this card was losing a little value, so I just wanted to show you that it is stabilizing a little. Now, in Legacy, you'll find this in Doomsday decks, Storm builds. This also sees a little Vintage play too, but it has seen increased Commander play recently with Underworld Breach and Thassa's Oracle. You take those two cards, this one and Wheel of Fortune, and you can steal a game that way. This also shows up in Sushi Hulk, and it could play well with Rael the Everwise, who we saw earlier. Crater Hoof Behemoth from Modern Masters 2017, it goes up $1.05 to $42.79. This card sees a little Modern play, sees play in Legacy Elves, but I think the main reason it has been hot recently is because of that reprinting of Reese the Redeemed and Mystery Boosters. This card plays very well with that one in Commander. Also, Nyx Bloom Ancient has pushed this one a little bit too. Kalia of the Vast, this is the original copy from Commander. It goes up $1.06 to $31.32. Very popular Commander card. Has seen some increased Commander play recently with the reprinting of the Ur-Dragon and Kaleidoscope Killers. Here's Earthcraft. It's on the reserve list. It goes up $1.11 to $49.81. This is another card that has seen a little increased Commander play with that reprinting of Reese the Redeemed. Sensei's Divining Top from Champions of Kamigawa goes up $1.13 to $36.13. This sees Vintage play. It's a huge Commander card, but again, I think the main reason this is moving is because of Ikoria previews. We saw a number of cards that let you dig into your library and look for creatures. This can help you set up some big plays with those cards. This also got a Command Zone mention this week too. Sword of Feast and Famine from Mirrodin Besieged. It goes up $1.23 to $58.62. This sees a fair amount of Commander play. Also sees some Modern play sometimes too with Stoneforge Mystic. Evison, Angel of Hope from Iconic Masters goes up $1.31 to $34.98. Very solid and very popular Commander card. Mana Vault, this is the one from Revised. It goes up $1.34 to $31.55. Sees Vintage play and it's a huge Commander card. Mana Crypt, the original promo book giveaway copy, it goes up $1.36 to $264.34. Now, this was going down in value because of the Mystery Booster reprint, but over the last few weeks it has been rebounding already. Sees Vintage play, lots of Commander play, and yup, it could show up in Sushi Hulk. Ancient Tomb, this is the one from Tempest. It goes up $1.45 to $28.73. Here's another card that sees a lot of Commander play. Also shows up in Legacy and Vintage. Kaneo Centero of Miletus. This is only found in foil. It goes up $1.47 to $10.52. This is a very popular group hug card, and it has gained a little momentum recently because of Theros Beyond Death being around. Dockside Extortionist. This goes up $1.49 to $21.55. This is a very popular Commander card right now, even though it's not very old. Combos with things like Cloudstone Curio and Temur Sabertooth. Land Tax. This is the one from Battle Royale. It goes up $1.55 to $27.96. Big Commander card for white decks. Magus of the Moon. This is the one from Iconic Masters, up $1.76 to $10. This sees a lot of Modern play. Grill mid-range decks are very popular right now. They typically run 4 copies of this. See some Legacy play too. But this is a card that has also seen increased Commander play because of the 2 reprintings of Perforos God of the Forge. Wheel of Fortune from Revised. This is on the reserve list, but it did get reprinted one more time as a Judge promo in foil again before they close that loophole. It goes up $3.53 this week to $103.51. I already mentioned a few moments ago how this plays with Thassa's Oracle and Underworld Breach and Lion's Eye Diamond, but this is also hot right now because of Rael the Everwise. There he is. Thrashios Triton Hero can only be found in foil, up $4.18 this week to $39.99. And yes, this is one of the partner commanders for the deck that everybody loves, Sushi Hulk. And this did get a Command Zone mention this week too, which could be part of the reason this one's still hot. And Tymna did not make our list this week. Skullbriar, The Walking Grave. Commander up $4.80 this week to $10.48. Commander Anthology Volume 2 up $5.21 to $11.11. So this is a direct reflection of the preview cards we've seen over the last couple of weeks. There's a lot of new counters coming to us because of the Ikoria set. You're going to have things like flying counters and hexproof counters and vigilance counters, so on and so forth. Also, there's a lot of cards that do play well with different types of counters in there. Now, the next 3 cards are all older cards dried up in the marketplace because of the previews we saw this past week. For the most part, I think these cards started going up because of true demand, but later on, it could have been a targeted buyout, especially towards the end. So this first one is Pemin's Aura. It goes up $6.13 this week to $10.50. This is moving in particular because of Zexara the Exemplary again. Those 2 cards together create an endless mana loop, which is perfect for your Hydra decks. Decree of Annihilation from Scourge goes up $7.23 to $9.73. Of course, cycling is back in a big way with Ikoria. A lot of cycling cards, a lot of cards that reward you for cycling. And in particular, there's one card that's going to love the Decree cycle, Gavi Nest Warden. Now, this is actually the front-facing commander for the Commander 2020 deck Timeless Wisdom, but this is a card that's really going to help you make the most of these cycling cards that do something when you cycle them. Also, Decree of Annihilation was mentioned on the Command Zone podcast this week, which could have pushed it into the spotlight a little bit too. Decree of Silence, here's another one. This one goes up 1788 to 2250 this week. And again, this is because of Gavi and of course the other cycling and cycling matters cards in the set. Alright, onto the Pauper Spotlight, a few cards here. We have Knight's Whisper, this is the one from Eternal Masters. It goes up 17 cents this week to 120. And you're going to find this one in mono black control builds in Pauper. Utopia Sprawl from Dissension goes up 21 cents to 342. And this one's in hexproof decks. It sees some modern play and a fair amount of commander play too though. Lightning Bolt back again. The beatdown box set copy up 11 cents to 338. The unlimited copy up $1.38 to 17.89. This sees play in Pauper Burn, Scred Fairies, and more. But obviously it's Lightning Bolt. It also sees play in Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Commander, and also Tolarian Community College mentioned it in a Modern video this week. Alright, time for the Premium Spotlight. I'll give my disclaimer really quickly here. I don't like to spend a whole lot of time talking about the rare, hard to find promos and foils, for the same reasons I was discussing when it came to some of those vintage cards. If you don't have a lot of items selling, you don't get good data, and sometimes that data can be manipulated. But I like to look for 1, 2, in this case 3 cards that feel like they are moving naturally with the market. These are all going to look familiar. Pem Zora, the Scourge foil, goes up $20.70 to $28.95 this week. Decree of Annihilation from the Vault Annihilation goes up $5.02 to $10.87. Scourge foil goes up $23.44 to $40.85. And Decree of Silence, the foil from Scourge, goes up $63.79 to $77.97. Alright, that does it for the Market Watch this week. I hope this was a pleasant distraction for a little while from everything going on. And I hope you're all staying safe, staying home, doing okay out there. Remember to take care of yourself, take care of each other. Until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.